Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and yet another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Once again, 5 in 5 days. We're on a 5-day streak, guys. Absolutely insane. And there might be plenty more to come, as I'm actually quite enjoying career mode at the minute. Now, if you guys did miss yesterday's episode, then please do check that one out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen before coming back to this one. It was a very crazy and intense race at the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard, and a bit of strategy masterclass with a little bit of weather conditions that were kind of changeable. Speaking of weather conditions, you can see on the screen there, we've got a bit of a wet qualifying on our hands and also potential for rain in the race. Also, finally, since we started doing career mode again, we've got our first upgrades on the car. We've got a double aerodynamic upgrade for both the front end and the rear end of the car, which is going to help us out massively, because when we jump into the R&D chart now, we're once again the 4th fastest team, and we take a big jump towards the top teams because neither Renault, Ferrari or Sauber bring any upgrades of their own for this race. So we're going to close the gap, and hopefully we can try and add maybe another upgrade to that for the next race in Silverstone. We already have an ultimate chassis upgrade on the way for the next race in the British Grand Prix, so if we can add one more to that, that'd be great. But if not, then it's not a problem. We still have that big upgrade on the way for my home race. With that being said, though, we arrive here at Austria, and it's a very decent track. It's one of the best opportunities of the season to score big points. This is one of the tracks where I'd say the AI aren't that fast. It's probably the only track where I could say the AI are actually a little bit slower than what they should be around here, and there's a good opportunity to really score some decent points, because even though in the last couple of races our cars let us down due to performance, I think this one will be a bit more of a more balanced playing field, and I think we could definitely do some damage here today, and qualifying is going to be crucial. This track is probably the most OP track in terms of the one-stop strategy. If you qualify on the super softs, you're going to get a much bigger opportunity in the race tomorrow, because if you go on the ultras, you're going to have to two-stop the race. It's impossible to pull off a one-stopper, pretty much. So really, we're going to go for the super soft option. And to be fair, if you remember the monitor before, rain is meant to be arriving straight away in qualifying, so everybody's going to hit the track straight away the second the session starts. As you can see here, we're starting the engine up. We're going straight on the super softs, which are, like I mentioned, are not the fastest compound. They are the middle of the three, but the one that gives us the best strategy for tomorrow. And we're going to try and see if we can get a lap in straight away, and that way secure a decent track position. Now, I can tell you this, I think I was the second car on track. I think Hartley was in front of me. We're going to go for a flying lap here and see what we can do straight away. As you can see, through turn 1, just carrying the speed. The car felt great around here. I had a really good setup on, and generally I felt really confident. I think I had 2.5 wings, 7 ballast, and generally the car just felt really, really good. But then into turn 3, we lock up and get it all wrong, and that kind of annoyed me a little bit, because I knew the rain was coming, and that might have been my best chance to do a decent lap. So we finished the lap nonetheless, and all I did was I managed to save fuel and ERS and go again on the same tyres and the same amount of fuel, because my tyres weren't that worn. So we're going to go again for a second lap. We have just about enough resources for it, and we're going to see if this time we can try and make it work and not make the same mistake. Straight away, turn 1, not as fast as last time, but now going up towards turn 3, we brake nice and late, and this time we pick up our apex. Nicely done there, using first gear to rotate the car, then on the power, on the exit, getting a nice bit of traction, and we are up on our previous delta as lap time started to get set now. Going down towards turn number 4, and now the rain is just starting to spit a little bit here at Austria as the rain begins to fall. So like I said, we kind of ruined our best chance by ruining our last lap, but I reckon we should be able to squeeze this lap in before the rain gets too bad. Going with lots of speed here through sector 2, carrying the momentum through these long swooping lefts as we now open up the right and go into the final sector. 2 more corners to go. We're going to try and commit to this even with a slippery track with the rain coming down. Down a couple of gears for the penultimate corner, run out nice and wide, and then once again the final corner here, attack the inside curve, let the car run out wide and open up the DRS. A little bit of a lag spike there because of the weather conditions, and we cross the line P5, and that is not too bad all things considered, and the fact that we missed out on our first attempt. I reckon there was about another 2 tenths in that maybe. We could get a perfect lap together, but as you can see, we came into the pit lane and no one improved in their lap times. We did drop down a P6. I think someone literally crossed the line just after me. I think it was Raikkonen who crossed the line just after me, and he managed to do a little bit of a faster lap, but P6 at the time, and had a very slow in lap to see if anyone else would improve. We then came into the garage, and pretty much I spectated the rest of the session to make sure no lap time glitches occurred. And yeah, pretty much that was the session done and dusted. So I'm the only car in the top 10 that managed to qualify on the super softs. Sainz got pole. My teammate Lewis Hamilton got P2, which was a really good result. And then Stoffel Van Dorn as well, getting himself in the top 4 with Raikkonen in between Lewis and Van Dorn there, my championship rival. And Brennan Hartley, who set the lap just before me, as you saw, he got P5. So I reckon I reckon a top 5 might have been possible if, we got that first attempt nailed, but still I can't complain. We managed to have enough time to go around for a second attempt and get a lap in, and it's all pretty decent. Sebastian Vettel down there in P13, you can see way down the order in the Ferrari there, but all in all, that is it for the qualifying, and a decent session for us, and we get the benefit of super soft tyres in the race tomorrow. But now we're going to move into an interview with Claire, and then after that we'll move into the race for round number 9 for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's do this.
Are you happy with where you'll be on the grid tomorrow? Do you feel that you don't need to practice? Appreciate your time.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Martinez. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Hartley, Martinez, and Gasly, Verstappen, Magnussen, Grosjean and Esteban Ocon, Vettel, Alonso, Stoffel Van Dorn and Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Ericsson, Sergio Perez and Sergei Sorokin. Stroll, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Charles Leclerc rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. We start from P5 on row number 3 on the clean side of the grid after Van Dorn picked up a penalty in qualifying. But basically, we are in a very good position. As I mentioned before, the super softs are going to be the key factor here because we're the only people in the top 10 starting on these tyres. Now, admittedly, they're a little bit more used than I would have liked, but still, it's not going to change my plans too much. Now, as you saw at the beginning of the video with the weather forecast, that ties into our race strategy. Now, we're going to go for the one stop with the supers onto the softs. However, there is a chance of rain coming towards the end of the race. So with that in mind, we're going to have a good option on tyres to go nice and long into the race. The longer we go in this first stint, the better. So pretty straightforward strategy. Fuel-wise, we are 1.5 laps over. Not to be too heavy, and just like in France in the last race, we're going to try and keep an eye out for the weather because obviously there could be a chance it might arrive towards the end of the Grand Prix. So with that in mind, we're going to keep an eye on the skies and keep an eye on our tyres and try and play it by ear pretty much. But with that being said, let's just jump into it here and let's see how this one goes. I love Austria. It's one where the AR aren't particularly fast either, so it's a good chance for me to score a good result. And it's time for round 9 for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights. Here at the Red Bull Ring, the lights are on and they are off. Wow, that was a very long 5 lights, but we are underway. Gasly trying to get down my inside here into turn 1. We're going to try and run very deep, go around the outside of Pierre. There we go, we hold on to our position. So far so good to say we're on the slower tyre. We're going to be at a slight disadvantage for these early laps, but hopefully we will have the pace. As Hamilton and Hartley there go side by side. Very, very tasty action already here. The Toro Rosso is coming alive. Sainz leading the way in the Renault. And crucially, my championship rival Kimi Raikkonen is still P2. As we've still got Hartley and Hamilton going side by side. Down towards turn number 4 now. Hamilton's going to give him a little squeeze there. A little bit of contact. Sparks fly between the pair of them. And Lewis, is he going to get it done? Not quite. Hartley's still hanging in there. And they are still side by side. Just watching this battle unfold. I'm having to readapt to these dry conditions. And eventually Hamilton gets the edge on Hartley and stays in front. Make sure I don't run too wide there. Track extensions around here are very, very easy to collect, so it's important to keep your nose clean. But having said that, I think once I establish myself on these tyres and find my pace, oh my god, that was a big bump. Big bump over the grass. That's going to put me in the back foot. Wow, big one. I was going to say, once I establish my pace, then we'll start going fast, I think, because I do have a fast car and I do feel confident around here. But that final corner there, hitting that bump a little bit too much and actually going airborne there. Very scary moment. We've got Verstappen here trying to give me the hurry up. Hopefully though we can try and get going again and try and get up to Gasly and try and get back past him. Hartley seems to be struggling for pace. Gasly's all over the back of him as we get this time a very nice final corner. We are definitely down on straight line speed though, it has to be said, as DRS is now enabled. We're going to get DRS here on this straight as Hartley and Gasly go side by side. Here we go. We open up the rear flap. Hartley's going to be vulnerable and exposed. We're getting the slipstream. Can we go for the double overtake here? Who knows? Late on the brakes down the inside of the hairpin. Good stuff. Very nice overtake. Perfectly executed there. Getting the car slowed down beautifully. And we are past Hartley and also Gasly as well. And we're now up into P4 just like that. So we've recovered from that initial poor opening lap. And we're now P4 behind Lewis Hamilton. And also Raikkonen is starting to put the pressure on Sainz. So we need to pick up the pace here. I'd be curious to see if they do one stop or two stop, in the sense that they only do one stop before switching to inters. It all kind of depends on the rain. If the AR have to stop for twice for dry tyres, then that's going to give me the race win. So that's what I'm kind of banking on. But I also need to show pace here and try and stick with these guys as I pick up my second track extend of the race. Not good.
Some information on Hartley. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
There you have it, Hartley with car trouble, and as I say that, Gasly has now overtaken him, so good thing is we've got a gap behind, 1.3 seconds. Gasly not within DRS, which is exactly what we need, so I can basically do my own thing and focus on my own driving, which is exactly what I want. Also, that's been a strong lap from me, as Raikkonen takes the lead, personal best, 105.6, as Sainz coming back at Raikkonen here. Obviously the triple DRS zone around this circuit is very powerful, so that's going to create for pretty interesting and long battles. Well, the top two has now become a top three. Raikkonen, Sainz and Hamilton all kind of slipstreaming each other at the minute. And that's allowing us to close in, and also I'm really putting out a gap now to the guys behind, in the form of Gasly and Verstappen especially, who are also battling behind me. Right now I'm starting to catch a little bit. It's taken me a while, another personal best, 105.5. The front three pretty much inseparable due to the slipstreaming effect, so it's hard for me to catch because they're putting pretty strong speeds, as Raikkonen is actually very fast in that Ferrari. Having said that, Sainz is starting to rush him a little bit, so you never know. But right now, if they do an extra stop, then we're looking in a very good position right now, because we'll be standalone leaders in this Grand Prix, so there's no need for me to rush or catch up too desperately. Yeah, another personal best, this time on 0.4. As it starts to get pretty overcast here. Keeping an eye on the skies as I run a little bit deep into turn one, get that one a little bit wrong. Slowly but surely, I'm gaining ground a little bit every single lap. Just need to gain a little bit more. Okay, looks like Hamilton and Sainz are pitting in. Kimi stays out, at least for one more lap.
Lewis is in the pits.
It's time to push. Let's close the gap to Kimi this lap. Okay, Kimi still staying out. I wonder if he's going to try and go for the same strategy as me, which would be interesting on a set of ultra softs, has to be said. You'd have to go a long, long way into the race. 105.3, picking up the pace once again here. And again, Kimi stays out. Interesting strategy. I've turned down the engine now. I've gone back to standard engine modes, but we are now within Raikkonen's DRS, so good chance for me to save ERS and fuel now. Let's focus on starting to launch an attack on the Iceman, as it seems to be for position. Okay, now finally Kimi comes in. I'll be intrigued to see what tyre he fits, because we'll get a good chance to see it. So let's see what happens as we once again get DRS for one last time here. I'm going to have released into the lead of the Grand Prix. So strategy's working out beautifully. I reckon Kimi's going to go into a set of softs. I think he's done enough, and there you go, he has gone to a set of softs. So Raikkonen on the one stop, he's going to be fast now on those soft compound tyres, faster than me, unless he gets caught in some traffic. So it's important to still keep the pace strong and stay competitive. Right then, here we go into the pit lane. A couple of laps later than Kimi, but this is our scheduled pit stop lap, so let's push the entry a bit if we can. Losing the back end there a little bit. Get it all slowed down, and there we go. Right, decent pit entry. Now let's get onto the soft compound tyres. There we go, 2.3, decent stop. Right then, we've got a 40 ERS battery. We're on softs, Hamiltons and Ultras, Vettel and Ericsson now on supers. They're going to stay out for a little bit longer. But there is Lewis, and here comes Carlos Sainz. He's got Raikkonen for company, so once again, Sainz and Raikkonen together in this race. We're going to rejoin just behind the pair, so all in all we haven't lost that much time. However, Raikkonen is going to try and launch an attack on Sainz straight away here, and we're going to get pretty much a prime view of it. I think Raikkonen might have just lost some end plate. I think he might have just lost some end plate. I think I saw something go off to the side of the track. I'm pretty sure an end plate went flying there. We'll confirm that now once, obviously you guys will see it on a replay, but I'll be able to see it by myself, depending on how Raikkonen's cornering is, and I can see he's struggling a little bit through there. Let's see what happens. I'll be curious to see how this one pans out. Yeah, he's definitely got damage. He's not great through the corners, Kimi. Yeah, he's got front wing damage, this is it. Hammer blow for the race, and also this could be big for the championship because there's a long way to go in this race, and Kimi isn't going to get his wing repaired, so this is going to hurt him quite badly. So he's going to sit behind him for now. There we go, out the final corner. DRS open, overtake ERS engage, Ericsson and Vettel in the pit lane. We're going to commit to this overtake. Down the inside of Raikkonen. We're going to get DRS as well, 2 for 1. Double whammy, and job done. We've got past Kimi down the inside, textbook manoeuvre. And we are now, technically speaking, in the net race lead. Decent stuff. And Raikkonen kind of dug his own grave there by making that mistake and hit the back of Sainz. So, right, pretty much the work is done. The strategy's paid off. We've done what we had to do. Now it's kind of a bit like Paul Ricard, really. The strategy part's out of the way. Now we're kind of waiting for the weather conditions to see what they decide to do this race. So it's going to be a very long, I'd say 15-ish laps or so before I'd say any rain arrives. So it could be quite a long cut, to be honest, unless I set a couple of fastest laps to keep you guys entertained. Raikkonen getting passed by Leclerc, and he's going to start getting passed by a lot of people now. So for the championship, this is starting to become a big opportunity for us to cash in and score some major points. Personal best into the 104s. We're still about a second off the fastest lap, which belongs to Charles Leclerc, who set that lap on those ultra softs he's currently on. So we're not going to be touching that one, I don't think, but still into the 104s, strong pace on the slowest tyre. So very good stuff, and we're starting to catch Carlos Sainz as well. Here we go then, we're within range of Carlos Sainz. We're going to have DRS for the first time on the Spaniard. We match our personal best, another 104.9. Sainz goes defensive slightly into turn 1, that's going to put him on the back foot. We focus on our exit. Good acceleration from the Renault, but we're going to crank it up to overtake ERS. Here we go, gaining the momentum. We're going to pull to the inside. And unlike Kimi, we're not going to lose an end plate. We're nice and deep into the corner, a la Sebastian Vettel and Hamilton in 2018, to make sure Sainz does not hang around the outside or make a switchback move. And there we go, the move's done. Good stuff. That's what you call a textbook overtake. And up next is Lewis on Ultra Softs, who is currently the race leader on that two-stop strategy as well. Right, I think, yep, Lewis has called it a day on those Ultras as he comes in, so he's going to now go onto his final set of tyres. I'm presuming a set of supers. There you go, onto a set of super softs, I presume, as we set a personal best that lap. We're also now into the negative of fuel, so very soon we're going to go back down to standard engine modes because I'm only burning off the fuel because of the rain possibility at the end of the race, and also I want to try and run light while I can on these tyres to alleviate tyre wear and tyre temperature issues. Even though they're not really a factor around here, it's always good to help it out if you can. And I'm expecting Leclerc, who's the most direct threat, to come in as well now this lap off of the Ultras, and Sainz shouldn't be too much longer. So right now we're going to be pretty much standalone leaders in this Grand Prix, which is exactly what I want. There we go, Leclerc comes in as I match my fastest final sector and pretty much match my personal best within 0.004. And Sainz shouldn't be too much longer. Ericsson's currently P3 on softs, and he's actually going to be pretty much net P2. He's 7 seconds behind. Also Vettel as well is going for the same strategy, so he's going to be a factor. But all in all, we haven't really got a very fast direct threat. So right now it's all about looking up at the skies, which by the way look absolutely beautiful here, and no sign of a cloud at the minute. So I'd be surprised at this rate if there is rain, because a poor card in the last race, the threat was there quite early on, and actually the rain arrived earlier than expected. So it definitely feels like a different race at the minute. Right, Carlos Sainz comes in. Apparently rain is 15 minutes away. Now, some clouds are just starting to form now in the sky. You can see it's not as clear blue as before. So this might be the beginning of the rain potentially arriving. So we're now going to start keeping a keen eye on the skies. Oh!
Some information on Vettel. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Big one for the championship. Sebastian Vettel out of the Austrian Grand Prix. Wow, that's huge. Both Ferraris with Raikkonen with end plate damage taking a big L this weekend. And for the championship, that's going to mean big things for us as Mercedes. That's going to be very interesting to see how that one pans out, as the clouds definitely start to thicken here at Austria as we enter the final 10 laps of the Grand Prix. Definitely starting to get very overcast now. You can really see it. Track's getting very dark. For now, I've got my fuel into negative quite nicely, so now I'm going to go back to ERS consumption. So I'm trying to keep the car nice and light. You see the Saubers now, 2 and 3. And Leclerc on super softs, he's going to be very fast, but he's about 15 seconds behind me. But you can see how fast the Saubers are. And it's just because of strategy that I am in first place, because otherwise it'd probably be another Sauber 1-2. They are so strong at the minute, and I'm trying to break that monopoly. But yeah, you can definitely see the clouds now. It's starting to get dark, and I reckon rain could be here. Will it get wet enough for inters? That's the real question. Right, onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. Yellow flag here in turn 1. But it looks like the rain is not going to arrive in time. It's got very overcast, but not enough for the rain. So it looks like we're getting away with it. And we're looking on course to bring this one home. Oh, it's a slow moving Ferrari down the mini-map. Someone's going slow, whether it's Vettel or Raikkonen, I'm not sure. Either way, here we go then. I've turned the engine down and been pretty much cruising, and it's Raikkonen who retires. The championship leader with a lap to go, and we run wide. Got to be careful there to not pick up that penalty, but across the line, and we win the Austrian Grand Prix 2 in a row after the Paul Ricard race as well. We are on a great run of form, and we are going to take the championship lead. What a performance. Right, so looking at the final race results, we win the Austrian Grand Prix ahead of Marcus Ericsson and Charles Leclerc. Saubers ending the race very strongly there, and both of them pretty much within 5 seconds of my gap. Then Carlos Sainz P4, my teammate Hamilton P5, good result for him, and after a couple of DNFs, it's good for him to get some points on the board there. And considering he's on a 2-stop strategy, not too bad considering the faster cars are in front of him. Then Pierre Gasly P6, once again a strong result for him in the Toro Rosso, and then Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Ocon and Verstappen running out the points there, with Van Dorn just missing out. And further down the order, Raikkonen and Vettel, a double Ferrari DNF. I mean, that was completely unexpected, and I don't know how the hell it's happened, but it has. And that's going to mean big things for the championship. As you can see in the Drivers' Championship, we take the lead, and we are 12 points clear of Kimi Raikkonen. And Hamilton now holds third place, but he is only 14 points behind Raikkonen. And Charles Leclerc jumps all the way up to fourth place, overtaking Sebastian Vettel. In terms of the constructors, though, Sauber take third place from Renault, and they close the gap to Ferrari and Mercedes. And speaking of which, we overtake Ferrari and take the lead by 25 points, the biggest margin of the season so far. And all in all, a positive day's work for us, and I'm very happy with how things have gone. Since I've restarted Cremo, we started, I think, second in the constructors, and we was like, I think 6th or 7th in the Drivers' Championship, and now we're top in both championships. So it's a strong return to form, and I'm very happy with how it's all gone. But anyway, that is it for the standings. We're now going to move into the laptop and get some upgrades on the car for the next couple of races.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? You must be happy with the result today. You're leading the championship. Are you happy to be there or feeling the pressure?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Right, so first of all we're going to look at the engine because the ICE is starting to accumulate some wear. Also, the gearbox as well is starting to get very second-hand. We've just finished our 6th race, so the gearbox is okay. We shouldn't be able to, we shouldn't have to worry too much about the gearbox, as we can now get 6 races out of it. So it doesn't need improving anymore. So realistically, I'm looking at the ICE as the possibility for the remaining power units going forward, for power unit 2 and power unit 3, which are still on 0%. So with that in mind, we're going to look at the R&D tree and see what options we have, because I think the IC is going to be expensive, and there you go, 1,248. We've literally got just enough to buy it. So I'm going to get that on the car because we haven't even got any upgrades on that yet, and it's wearing pretty heavily. So we're going to get that on the car for Britain, and hopefully that should help us out. Now, for the British Grand Prix, I'm going to change some engine components because I want to try and be more aggressive. So it's my home race. I want to win yet again. So we're going to go back to power unit number 1, I think. And it's used, but it's a lot newer than the current one. So we're going to go over to power unit 1 and go back to the original components on that one because I want to try and be a little bit more competitive in that race. So yeah, all in all, we're going to have a new engine, or semi-new engine, for Britain. Hopefully, if I get time, I might try and do a bit of a different helmet, a bit of a special helmet. And it's something I've always wanted to do. I don't really do it enough, so I'm going to hopefully do that. And pretty much that is it, guys. We've got the upgrade on the car, and things are looking pretty damn tasty all in all. So if you guys did enjoy the video, then please do drop a like on this Career Mode episode. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, and turn notifications, guys, to not miss a single upload from me and more like. And also check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.